High on the wish list of most golfers would be the ability to hit this club, the driver, even further. And it may not be as difficult as you think. Today I'm going to share with you some very practical, actionable tips that you can take to the driving range and help you to do just that. Hitting the ball further is within reach of every single golfer if you understand some of the basic things that you need to do. Let's get into the detail of what I want you to do to help you hit this driver even further than you currently do. So when we think about adding more distance, I want to first of all think about adding more potential power to the swing. What does that mean? Well, if you take the smallest swing that you make in golf, which would be the putting swing moves the hands and the club head the shortest distance. And generally that's because we want to produce the shortest shot. The ball doesn't need to travel very far. And then gradually, as you build up through the shots, we start to chip the ball with a slightly longer hand path and a slightly longer club head travel. And then that gradually progresses up to something that might be more of a mid-distance pitch shot, a fuller wedge shot, and then all the way up to hitting full shots with an iron. And then finally, we hit this club. And it stands to reason that if we're trying to hit this club as far as possible, we want to try and move the hands and the club head around us as far as possible. That's the potential power that I'm talking about. So that's the first place to look if you're trying to get more out of your driver. How much more could you get this club head and hands to travel around your body? That's important. Remember, we play golf on a tilted angle. These clubs are at an angle and we stand to the side of the ball. So an enormous part of creating potential power is getting the hands and the club to travel around you far enough that you have long enough to pull back down on this club and create some speed. Once you understand that the hands and the club should travel around you the most with this club in order to create that power, we want to look at ways to utilize the body and use it as it's designed to help maximize that potential. And a lot of you are missing out here. Through different types of instruction or lack of understanding of how the joints work, you're standing in a way that's stopping you from being able to maximize that potential power. Let me explain what I mean. For the drivers, so many of you would benefit by simply taking your trail foot, which is my right foot, and moving it back, pulling it back behind me. What that's going to do is begin to preset my hips a little bit closed already, but ultimately it's going to give me a greater range of motion for all of my joints to start to move through in order to help me get a bigger turn. So for anybody watching this video who thinks they're inflexible or can't turn enough, you must try this exercise. Pulling your trail leg back helps to open up that right hip and gives you a head start, if you like, in terms of how far your backswing can potentially go. The other huge benefit to this exercise, which often gets missed, is that it isn't simply enough to turn more. A lot of golfers have big turns and still hit the ball very little distance. So I've used the phrase a couple of times in this video already, create more potential power. Turning further and having a longer hand path and a longer club head travel is only really more potential power. You need to be able to deliver that power into the ball. That's the transfer of the power, the transfer of this angular momentum into the ball. And the huge benefit you get from pulling the trail foot back is that as you start to swing down, you'll see in the best players how their lower body stops moving, it stalls for a split second. And that's to help them get the energy out of the body and the arms, out into the hands, and ultimately out into the club head. Having the foot pulled back helps to keep the hips closed, helps you to deliver more of that power into the ball. It also helps golfers to draw the ball, which for a lot of you will be a shot that you're not used to seeing. You take a look at the swings of players like Rory McIlroy, probably the best driver of the golf ball in the world. Scottie Scheffler, who is the best player in the world by far this year in terms of his results. You look at their swings, you look at their lower body movement. That movement that Scheffler has, where his foot moves back and behind him, is really an exaggerated or extended version of this type of exercise. Think about it like this. If you wanted to hit the ball the slowest or the shortest distance, you would turn everything together in the follow through. You'd let everything move at the same speed. If I swung through and tried to turn my arms, my body and the club at exactly the same rate, I'd have a very, very low transfer of energy. Contrast that with pulling my foot back, swinging through and stopping my body. Notice how they begin to create a little bit more speed at the bottom of the swing, just like this. That's very different to turning everything together. So the long and the short of it is, if you want to hit the driver further, create more potential power by increasing the length of the hand path and the club path in the backswing, you can do that by pulling the trail leg back. And then if you want to transfer this longer swing and more potential power into the ball, as you swing through, keep this foot and this leg back. Feel like you're bowling in a sense. You feel like you're throwing a bowling ball down the alley. Scotty Scheffler type drill. What that's helping with is the slowing down of the lower body and throwing the energy out into the club and ultimately into the hands, so that we can get that speed to transfer into the ball. That's one of the easiest ways to start adding more distance with this club. And I would tell you that without doubt, I see an improvement in distance in every student that tries this. Some get more benefit than others, but everyone sees an improvement. Greater backswing length, greater club speed, which translates into more ball speed, and generally speaking, the golfer starts to see their ball draw down the fairway as opposed to slice. Quick question for you. Did you know that 80% of your golf ball's direction comes from the club face angle at impact? And it's your wrists that control that angle. If you want to hit straighter shots and add more distance to your game, then check out the link in the description below. So take your regular setup, pull the trail foot back. You can even flare or turn out that foot as well a little bit, which helps open up the knee and the hip joint to increase that turn even further. Huge backswing, and then swing down, keeping this trail foot back. Think Scotty Scheffler, think bowler. More of a push pattern on that one. I didn't quite get through it as well as I wanted to, but I got a sense that my backswing was much longer. One of the things you're going to find as you increase the length of your swing is that some of your timing needs a little bit of time to bed in. Going back further will feel, first of all, a little different, and also require a little more energy and time for you to get that thing back to the ball in an efficient way. Bigger turn, right foot pulled back, big turn, and then deliver that club into the ball. That one felt better for sure. Focused a little bit more on just committing to that one. The one before, I was trying to be a little too technical and talk you guys through it. Keep the foot back, biggest turn you can make, and then swing down. Keeping that trail leg back and keeping that foot down helps to transfer that angular momentum. Pretty nice shot there, push draw. My relatively standard looking shot. I know that this helps players that I help and see on a daily basis. I know it can help you too. Give that one a try. If you'd like to learn more ways that you can increase distance with not only the driver but also other clubs, click on the link in the description of this video, which will take you to more hack motion videos that I've made that will help you to do just that.